God. 4 shotgun shells between us and the Germans. But then a wonderful thing happened. And this is where the American people really shine. The lack of armaments was so critical that American riflemen actually put out an advertisement asking for American citizens to donate guns to Britain. This wasn't the government. This wasn't anything official. This was American riflemen appealing to American citizens. And the response was amazing. That's just what America's like. We do that to our friends. When somebody needs help, we go out and do it. So the response was amazing. And so guns started rolling into the UK. And Jack told me the relief they all felt when the guns showed up was just really palpable. And what was nice was that the people who donated these firearms actually wrote personal notes on them. And Jack showed me 30-odd years ago the letter he got that was attached to a well-loved, well-used 30-06 bolt-action rifle from a citizen in Nebraska. And can I swear on this? No, I can't swear on stage. And he said that the Nebraska owner said to the new owner, send those Nazi bleeps to hell, which I thought was pretty nice. But that caused me to reflect on our rights, our Second Amendment rights. Anybody remember in London, probably in 2011, the riots that took place in London? The burnings, the lootings, the robbing, the indiscriminate destruction of people's property, just because they could. I was on Skype with my daughter. She's a medical professional in London, on one of those evenings. And she said, I've got to go, Dad. And I said, what's up? She said, the apartment association, we're going outside to defend our apartment. I said, what are you going to defend it with? She said, all we've got is pots and pans, cricket bats and golf clubs. And she said to me, I've never been a gun lover. I've never understood why you like guns. But I wish to God I had a shotgun tonight. Right? So, thank you. So that sort of brings me back to where we stand today. The Second Amendment is a fundamental to defending the rest of the Bill of Rights. But there are many people in the positions of power and authority, Dianne Feinstein for one, who would like to see us disarmed from our right to keep and bear arms. Tragic. So this begs the question, and this is a question that I have debates all the time when I'm going around Massachusetts in my role as VP of Goal. Well, if the left hate us so much having guns, why would they try and disarm their fellow citizens? The answer is pretty simple. They don't hate guns. The left don't hate guns. What they hate are guns in the hands of people who are not marching in lockstep with their ideology, all right? They hate guns in the hands of those who think for themselves, like us, and who do not obey their so-called authority without question. Because we have a right from the Founding Fathers to protect our lives under the Constitution. We cannot allow this great nation to go the way of Britain, defending our rights with pots and pans and cricket bats. It's been so bad, actually, at some point. The last Olympics, the Olympic marksmanship team had to go to Switzerland to train because they couldn't keep their firearms at home. Can you imagine that? So the clarion call of the left for sensible gun control is neither sensible nor control. And we really need to fight that and make sure that doesn't happen, because there's still these backdoor gun grabs going on. The tragic acts in Paris, there's a lady with a clock down there, I just noticed that. The tragic acts in Paris of the previous week should show us what gun-free zones do. Because France is worse. You think France is bad. France makes New York State look like the Wild West in terms of getting guns. It's really bad. So we've seen this assault on our rights in Massachusetts. And I fight with the rest of my colleagues in Goal all the time to stop this backdoor gun grabbing. Now, I'm often asked why I own guns. My wife's a professional singer and a converted liberal. She now is a gun-toting believer. And I say I own guns because the same reason you own golf clubs. I enjoy the sport, I enjoy collecting, and I intend to protect my family. Now, I recently built my first AR-15. I have several AR-15s, but I actually built one, and it worked, and I was really thrilled. But that evil black rifle shape gives the people on the left apoplexy. And you get this thing, well, why does anybody need a gun like that? Well, I've got news for you people. The Second Amendment isn't about hunting or trap shooting. Its intent is to secure our ability to oppose enemies, both foreign and domestic. And it's a constitutional safeguard that the founding fathers put in to guard against disorder and tyranny. Now, there's been many arguments about rifles like my new AR-15, which I really like. I like it. I do. My wife thinks I obsess about it, but I probably do. But how many times have you heard somebody say, why does anybody need a gun like an AR-15? A semi-automatic sporting rifle. Why does anybody need a gun like that? You know what? The answer's really simple. And it takes a former Englishman to point it out to them. The answer is, frankly, it's because we're not serfs. We are a free people living in a republic of our own construction. While we may consent to be governed, we will never consent to be ruled. Now, I'm going to get a little plug out here to Fox News, because one of my favorite contributors to Fox News is Judge Andrew Napolitano, he with the hair, who actually said on a broadcast, the purpose of the Second Amendment isn't guarantee the right to shoot deer. It is a guarantee the right to shoot at government if it becomes taken over by tyrants. Now, I'm not advocating insurrection by any means, but we have to be vigilant, extremely vigilant when it comes to the Second Amendment. We're in a situation now where we've got control of the House and the Senate. We can't afford to relax. Our Second Amendment rights are under attack, which could really reduce our ability to defend ourselves if these things go through. We never want to find ourselves in a situation the same as Britain was in 1940, where we're scrabbling around using pitchforks and sharpened sticks to defend our country. Or I don't want to be forced into the street with pots and pans and cricket bats to defend our liberties. So history has taught us that nations that are disarmed as the nations subjugated, and those also that ignore history are doomed to repeat it. We the people cannot allow that to happen. And I, for one, refuse to become a subject of the United States and not a citizen. So in conclusion, let us all remember that the American dream is there for us to strive for as an opportunity and not an entitlement. But the Second Amendment underpins the Bill of Rights, and without that, our Constitution fails and our country fails. Thank you very much, and God bless America.